Hey, I'm Sheena Shuey. I'm a registered social worker and host of the 4Q podcast. I'm passionate about normalising, not pathologising life, and that's not easy. So each episode, I have amazing guests on to share the messy, beautiful ups and downs of life in 4 key questions with tips and tricks along the way. There are moments in life where you can embrace your story and understand that it's okay not to feel okay sometimes. So let's get into it. This is the 4Q podcast. Well, hello. It's episode 33, a special one. 33 is a great number. So let us get into our 4R formula of reflect, redefine, redesign, and realign. So the topic that we are going to reflect on today, this lovely Monday for those of you who listen when this come out, and this lovely beginning of the week or beginning of the day for you, maybe it's the end of the day and beginning of home time, we are going to reflect on non-verbal or non-therapy ways to help your stress, anxiety, and burnout. Now, let's redefine this for a moment because there are many sort of contributing factors to stress, anxiety, and burnout. So for those of you who've been following me for a while, you will know, just to reiterate, that there are 3 levels that affect us and who we are. There's the individual level. There's things that are happening within our body, our psychology, our social sphere, and our spirituality that affect who we are and how we feel. Then there's the relational, so there are obviously our relationships, our workplaces, our immediate communities that we're in. And then there's the larger sort of meta social things like capitalism and this constant societal pressures, oppression, all of these sorts of sort of larger systemic issues that really do affect us because we live in a society now in the Western world which really doesn't align to the human pace of human beings. And so, of course, if you're in a society where it's go, 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 earn the best, earn the most, get the most, it's going to be hugely dysregulating. So I want to start off with that, in that we are in a society that is not sort of inducive to feeling not anxious, to feeling calm, to feeling slow paced, to feeling not even slow paced, to being the pace of what human beings are meant to be like. You know, if you look at our ancient cultures, we worked hard in the morning and napped in the afternoon. Our current rat race doesn't allow for that now. We also had a lot of community support, and now we don't have that. So I just want to touch on that one level as well as that community level of that. We just don't have the communities that we do. So this episode isn't about that, but I just always think it's important to touch on because I don't ever want people to think that, you know, just doing a couple of exercises will get rid of all the social things that cause us to feel how we feel. You know, they're still going to be there, but these are things that you can do on an individual level to regulate that anxiety, stress, and burnout. So on the individual level, a big reason that we feel these things is central nervous system dysregulation. Now, a central nervous system is a whole bunch of neurons and neural connections that go from our brain down to our body and our body back up to our brain. So signals are sent both ways. And what happens when we're feeling anxious, stressed, or burnt out is that this system is dysregulated. Now, if you have an experience of trauma in your history or you have unprocessed shit lurking in your unconscious, in your subconscious, in your being, you're going to slip into central nervous system dysregulation far easier. Now, central nervous system dysregulation can happen for, again, a number of reasons. If you're having an argument with someone, if you're having a very stressful moment at work, if there's generally stress around you, it can send you into dysregulation. And there are logical ways we can regulate ourselves. So I guess in therapy, we do a lot of ways that you can disconnect from unhelpful thoughts or unhelpful traumas and past things that can cause some of this dysregulation, because we know that thoughts affect our body, they affect our heart rate, all of those things. So that's a big part of it. But a big thing that a lot of people don't realize is that as therapists, social workers, counselors, psychologists, we do actually recommend a lot of non-verbal treatments to regulate the central nervous system. And so let's get to the redesign of what that actually looks like. So again, if you ever want to Google this, just look at the Google autonomic nervous system or central nervous system, the vagus nerve, VAGUS, vagus nerve. You'll see a whole spindle of connections going through your body, and it's amazing to look at. Now, to regulate that system, some of the things that you can do that are really helpful are walking. Walking is great because unlike running is very stressful actually on our central nervous system, in that we actually release a lot of cortisol and adrenaline when we run. It's a high intensity workout to do that. So walking oxygenates the blood and regulates your heart rate and your blood enough that you can regulate your body and calm your central nervous system. Like it can handle what's being thrown at it right now without sending it further dysregulated by, say, doing a high intensity workout. So that's one. Something like yoga, again, mindful movement where it's not a high intensity workout, but it's something that you're very aware of your body, you're connecting with your body and consciously moving it, regulating it. Meditation, mindfulness, again, super helpful practice, but these things need to be practiced when you're calm before you can try and even fathom trying to do that when you're dysregulated. So I try to use mindfulness and meditation as more of a proactive approach, whereas at least yoga and walking you can do in the moment of dysregulation as well. Cold showers, so the Wim Hof stuff, the ice baths, the breathing, all of that, it teaches your body how to regulate, but also there's just a lot of ways that it can regulate the nervous system over time. So that's very helpful. And traditionally in our cultures, we did a lot of that, going from hot to cold to hot to cold. We had to. We were living in the wild, right? Other things include, the obvious things, sauna, massage, Reiki. All those sorts of things have definitely shown efficacy in regulating that central nervous system. So if you're wanting to try some non-verbal ways or non-therapy ways to regulate your central nervous system for a plethora of reasons, maybe you already go to therapy and you want to sort of take your healing up a notch. Maybe you just want to do this as just like a health practice, a general health practice. We all should be doing this as a general health practice. Or maybe you're doing this because, sometimes when we go through the trauma healing process, the anxiety healing process, the burnout healing process, sometimes we get talked out. That's just the reality. Sometimes we don't feel like talking, or talking is painful. And so it's just hard to sometimes do that. And so these practices are really good ways of healing ourselves without having to always talk. There's going to be times where you want to do a mix of both. Maybe you want to talk more and regulate, at other times, maybe you want to regulate more and talk less at certain times. But I just want to give you a plethora of ideas and tools and find your own. There are so many different ways. In our Wild Ocean Co membership, we have a sensory profile activity that's sort of based on occupational therapy, and that's occupational therapist sort of bread and butter. But we talk about all of your senses and figuring out what are the things that calm you, from yourself, and what are the things that heighten you. So, for a lot of us, being in loud, noisy places for extended periods of time is something that can sort of dysregulate us. And it's just being aware of things that calm us down and actually heighten us, and doing more of the things that calm us down, or introducing them when we need to. So all of these activities are just really helpful for figuring out practices so that you can be your best and most open self. Because again, when we're dysregulated, we're not in our what we call the best zone, which is our window of tolerance. And I'll do another episode on that. But long story short, when we're dysregulated, we aren't in the best zone. And the best zone that we can be in is one where we're cool, calm, collected, and connected. So we're connecting easily. We're handling stress in a way that's manageable. When unexpected things happen inevitably in life, we're still able to manage it without completely sort of getting overwhelmed or anxious or shutting down, going the other way. So it's all really important to just do these activities to either stay in that zone or bring ourselves back when we've sort of stepped out of the zone. So that's what I would say for your realignment, is to implement some of these. And I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me on Instagram, or send me a message on our Facebook, or send me an email. I always love to hear your positive feedback, or, share this podcast with someone who you feel would benefit from these short and sharp episodes or the guest episodes. I'd love to hear from you. But tell me maybe something that you've learned from this episode, or something that you go, actually, that's something that I will implement to regulate myself. Just quickly before we wrap this episode up, I know when I was working in a highly stressful job where I definitely had some stress and some burnout, at the time, I didn't realize it, but a way that I was regulating my central nervous system is I was getting massages once a month, sometimes once a fortnight, and I was meditating while I was on the table. So not only was I getting the benefits of the massage, but I was visualizing myself healing on that table, visualizing my muscles relaxing, visualizing healing light over me. And all of that is hugely powerful, because your brain can't differentiate reality from dream state sometimes. And so visualizing such positive energy running through you has neurological effects that really harness positivity in the brain. So if there's something that I just want to hear, what do you try? What do you do for yourself? Because that practice at that time was hugely important for getting me through what was a very stress-induced part of my life. So I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you did. Have a wonderful week, wonderful day, wonderful month. Thank you for being part of this beautiful community and being who you are. You wouldn't be listening to this right now if you're not trying to be one of the better versions of yourself. So thank you for stepping up for yourself and for your friends, for your family, and for your community in trying to be that better person. I truly, truly, truly believe it all starts with us. And you never know the impacts just your words, your presence can have on the people around you. You might not see it, you might not always hear it, But I promise you, when you change yourself for the better, it has such huge ripple impacts on the people around you. So thank you for showing up today. All right, we'll see you next episode. Bye for now.